Hello, good evening. Good evening to you all. So we are starting with the let me introduce myself. This is Madhav Bharadwaj. I did my BTech in computer science from SGS ITS Indore, and I have been working as a mathematics faculty with most of the reputed organizations throughout India. I have worked till now. I have 5+ year of experience. I worked with Allen Career Institute, Akash Institute. In the beginning of my career, I worked in Infosys as a system engineer. So today I'll be going to start with the new chapter of the 11th standard, the very first chapter, that is set theory. So let's start with the topic set. What do we know about set? Guys, whenever you go to write an exam, let us suppose you went for writing an exam, their paper would have occurred in the form of set. Let us suppose you went for writing exam for JEE Main. So in JEE Main, paper occurs in the form of set. Set A, then set B, then set C, then set D. Like this, papers are occurring in the form of set. Why papers are occurring in the form of set? You might be wondering. It is occurring in the form of set to avoid cheating. Otherwise, students would cheat. The way you cheat, you might be remembering. You might be telling like this one, question number 1, option 4. Then question number 2, option 3. Like this, you people cheat. If it would have not occurred in the form of set, you people would have cheated like this. 1, option 2, 3, option 4, 3, option 2. Like this, you would have cheated. So to avoid such type of thing, papers are occurring in the form of set. So what is the property of the set? It is a collection. Definitely it's a collection. Collection of what? Collection of questions. Now, have you ever seen that in a set, question 1 is written for multiple number of times? It never occurs like this. Question 1 would be asked for one time, question 2 will be asked for one time, question 3 would be asked for one time, question 4 would be asked for one time. The same question would not be occurring for multiple number of time, it would be occurring for one and one time only. So this is not a set, it is not a set. So what we can see, anything in which there is a repetition will not be a set. Since there was a repetition, it is not a set. If there would not be a repetition, then it would be a set. Then what else should hold good for a collection to be a set? Set is basically a collection. It's a collection. Collection of what? Collection of distinct elements. Repetition should not be there. Repetition must not be there. Collection of distinct elements. Now the second property of set, what should hold good for a collection to be a set? For collection to be a set, the ordering of element doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What I said, ordering of element doesn't matter. Let us suppose you went for writing an exam, question 1 was there, question 2 was there, and question 3 was there. And the second time when you went for writing an exam, question 2 was over here, question 1 was over here, and question 3 was over here. If it was set A, it will be also set A only. It will not be another set B, it will be also a set A only. So in a collection, if the order of element is like jumbled, that will be also a same set. It's an unordered collection. Set has elements written in an unordered manner. Unordered collection. So set is a collection of distinct elements. Elements can be unordered in a set. Elements can be unordered in a set. They can be jumbled in a set. These two are the same sets. This is not set B, this is set A only. Until and unless questions are not changing, the set won't change. Until and unless questions are not changing, set won't change. The order of question only has changed over here, so it's the same set. And each and everything in a set is well defined. Well defined. So you have to just keep it in your mind. Set is a collection of distinct elements which are unordered, which can be unordered, and each and element is well defined. These are the few keywords which we should keep in our mind while defining a set, while for a collection to be a set, this and all should hold good. This and all should hold good. Now let's proceed further. Let us suppose I am writing a collection over here. You have to just find out whether it is a set or not. This is 112, a collection written by me. Is it a set or it's not a set? Guys, since 1 is repeating for 2 number of times, and I told set has distinct elements. Distinct elements means repetition is not allowed. Repetition is not allowed. That means 1 should come for 1 time, 2 should come for 1 time, 3 if it is coming, it should come for 1 time, 4 if it is coming, it should come for 1 time. So what we should write over here? Not a set. It's a collection but not a set. Hope you guys would have got my point. Now proceeding further, let us suppose one set is given to you 1, 2, 3, and one more collection is given to you 3, 2, 1. They are asking they are same sets or they are different sets. So you should say they are same sets. Why they are same sets? Because elements are not changing. 1 is over here, 2 is over here, and 3 is over here. Until and unless elements are not changing, only their order is changing, we should say what? Set is an unordered collection. Since set is an unordered collection, the 2 collections over here, these 2 collections over here will be a same set. Will be a same set. Now there comes a question in our mind that how many ways I can write a set with 3 elements. Let us suppose a set with 3 elements is there, 1, 2, 3. How many ways I can arrange the elements? So for that you should know the fundamental principle of counting. What is fundamental principle of counting? This is the principle used for counting number of ways to perform a task. Number of ways to perform a task is counted by using this principle. So we'll be going to see the fundamental principle of counting. Let's change the slide. So for fundamental principle of counting, we have some examples. Making use of that example, things will become quite easy for you to understand. Let us suppose you returned from your school and your mother saw you, means you witnessed your mother. All of a sudden you witnessed your mother in front of you. So your mother told you either you have your lunch or else start studying. So mother is quite liberal lady. She is very liberal lady, kind-hearted lady. So she is giving liberal instructions over here. Her instructions are very liberal. And father is very strict and straightforward person. He is very strict and straightforward person. And whatever he is telling, you would have to abide him. The strict person, a straightforward person. And it's our moral obligation to keep our parents happy. It's our moral obligation to keep our parents happy. With the help of this thing, we'll be going to learn the fundamental principle of counting. How to count the number of ways to perform a task by making use of fundamental principle of counting. With the help of this example, we'll be going to learn that thing. So it's our moral obligation to keep our parents happy. Each and every child wants to make their parents happy. So let us suppose you witnessed your mother and mother told you either you have your lunch or else start studying. So there are 2 instructions written over here. Have your lunch and start studying. So what is the instruction A? Instruction A, we will write it over here. Have your lunch. Have your lunch. And what is the instruction B? Start studying. Start studying. So you are a teenager, you have your own world, you will do whatever you want. But you have to keep your parents happy. If you will keep your parents happy, you will get self-satisfaction. Okay. So let us suppose if you are abiding your parents, that means you are doing the task they told, that we are denoting it by 1 over here. And if you are not abiding them, obeying them, so we'll be denoting it by 0 over here. So how many possibilities are there? There are 4 possibilities. The instruction A you didn't follow, instruction B also you didn't follow, then instruction A you didn't follow, but instruction B you followed, the instruction A you followed, but the instruction B you didn't follow, and the instruction A you followed, and the instruction B also you followed. There are 4 possibilities. Either you may have your lunch, and also you study. Either you may have your lunch and you may not study. You may not have your lunch and you may study. You may not have your lunch and you may not study. These are the 4 possibilities over here you may do. After this, other than this, you can't do anything. Out of this 4 thing only you will do anything. Okay, so what is the instruction given by mother over here? Mother told you A or B. So even if you are doing any one task out of this 2 tasks, she will be very happy. She will start feeling like you are obeying her, and she will think like you are respecting her. Obeying her means you are respecting her. So since you didn't had your lunch and since you didn't study, she will feel like you are not obeying her. And in the second case, as soon as she will see that you didn't had your lunch but you started studying, she will start feeling like you are obeying her. And in the third case, as soon as she will see you had your lunch but you didn't study, that time also she will feel like you are obeying her. And as soon as she will see over here that you had your lunch, she will not look for whether you are studying or not. She will be happy that you are obeying her, and you will be going to get success over here. You will be counted as a successful person because you made your mother happy. Now let's talk about father's instruction. Father also gave you one instruction that you have your lunch and start studying. So we would have to write it like A and B for father. For father, we will be going to write like A and B. So what will be going to happen over here? Over here, we will be going to write, this was 1. When and when only you will have your lunch as well as you will study, father will be happy. Otherwise, he won't be happy because he's a strict person. He wants you to do both the things. So since you are not having your lunch and you are not studying, father will not be happy with you. So you'll be going to write what? Unsuccess over here. You didn't get a success. You didn't had your lunch but you studied. So you'll be called unsuccessful over here because you were not able to make your parent happy, your father happy. Now the third case, you had your lunch but you didn't study. So you'll be called unsuccessful over here. Once and only and only when you'll be going to do both the tasks, you'll be called successful. Here you had your lunch and you also studied. So father will be going to call you as successful over here. Hope you guys would have got my point. Now guys, making use of this thing, we'll be going to get the relationship between the and or. What does this and mean mathematically? What does this or means mathematically? So we can see 0.0 is equal to 0 it will be. 0.1, 0 multiplied by 1 is equal to 0 it will be. 1.0, that is 0 it will be. And 1.1 is equal to 1 it will be. Hope you guys would have got my point. So from now onwards, whenever we'll be going to speak and in English, we'll be going to keep a multiply symbol in mathematics. What will be going to keep? A multiply symbol in mathematics. And in English means multiply symbol in mathematics. And over here we can see that 0 plus 0 is equal to 0 it will be. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1 it will be. 1 plus 0 is equal to 1 it will be. And 1 plus 1, you might be remembering one thing. As soon as you are getting a single success and or was there, you need not to look for the second success. Even if you are getting the second success, it won't be counted. Let us suppose you are attempting both the parts of a question where it was written question 3 part A or part B. If you are attempting both the parts of this question, the first one will be checked out over here and the second one will be crossed out over here. Even if you are attempting both the parts completely right, the first one will be only checked out and the second one will not be checked out. So you'll be going to get the marks for the first part only. You'll be going to get the marks for the first part only. For the second part, you won't be going to get any marks. So for over here also, you'll be going to write 1 only. There won't be the concept of double success. There won't be any concept of double success. Once you got a single success, that will be counted as a success. That is only the success. Because nobody was asking you to do both the tasks completely. They were just asking you to do any of the 2 tasks. You did both the tasks completely right. it's your own pleasure you did. It's on your own pleasure you did. It's for you, your own you did. Nobody asked you to do like that. Hope you guys would have got my point. So from now onwards, when I'll be going to speak or in English, we'll be going to keep a plus symbol in mathematics. This is only called as fundamental principle of counting. Making use of this thing and English, we can count any number of ways to perform any task. Number of ways to perform any task. And how many ways we can perform this, how many ways we can perform this, mathematically we can count that thing. So you might be wondering, sir, can you give us some example regarding this thing? So sure, definitely I'll be going to give you some example where we'll be going to count the number of ways to perform a task. Let us suppose this is the question. What is the question over here? Number of ways to travel from town 1 to town 3 via town 2. Number of ways to travel from town 1 to town 3 via town 2. What is the town 1? This is the town 1, we can see. What is the town 2? This is the town 2. Which is the town 2? This is the town 2. And this is the town 3. Hope you guys would have got my point. You have to travel from town 1 to town 3 via town 2. So, via town 2 you have to travel. From town 1 to town 2 you may travel either using what and all things are over here. This is the road 1. This is the road 2. This is the road 3. This is the road 4. This is the road 5. Now question might be clear to you. There are 3 roads to travel from town 1 to town 2 and there are 2 roads to travel from town 2 to town 3 and you have to travel from town 1 to town 3 via town 2. Via town 2 means what? Passing through town 2. Passing through town 2 you have to travel from town 1 to town 3. The number of ways to travel they are asking. So from town 1 to town 2 you may travel either using road 1, as soon as I told or using road 2, I tapped a plus symbol. And from town 1 to town 2 you may travel either using road 1 or using road 2 or using road 3. Now half of the task is done, but still your journey is not completed. So you would have to travel from town 2 to town 3 and from town 2 to town 3 you would be traveling either using road 4 or using road 5. Hope you guys would have got my point. From town 1 to town 2 you may travel either using road 1 or using road 2 or using road 3 and from town 2 to town 3 you may travel either using road 4 or using road 5. This is the only way we speak in English when we have to explain it to anyone, and that I am transforming it to mathematics. That thing itself I am transforming it to mathematics, the number of ways we can travel from this town to that town via town 2. So you might be wondering, sir, what this will be going to generate? You might be remembering the distributive property of multiplication over addition. So we'll be going to get R1 and R4 or R1 and R5 or R2 and R4 or R2 and R5 or R3 and R4 or R3 and R5. This many ways will be there. Now, do we need to count like this? This is the for beginners approach. This is the beginners approach. You need not to do like this. You have to, this is just for clarity I am showing it to you. Just for your clarity I am showing it to you. That this is the one way, this is the second way, this is the third way, this is the fourth way, this is the fifth way, this is the sixth way. And wherever we are speaking or in English, we are keeping a plus symbol in mathematics, and wherever we are speaking and in English, we are keeping a multiply symbol in mathematics. Hope you guys would have got my point. Now proceeding further. So then how we need to count them? How we need to count them? So you would have to write it like this. 1 plus 1 plus 1 multiplied by 1 plus 1. Now what this 1 represents? This represents road 1. This represents road 2. This represents road 3. This represents road 4. This represents road 5. So what will be going to generate? 3 multiplied by 2, that is equal to 6. So there are 6 ways to travel from town 1 to town 3 via town 2. Hope you guys would have got my point. There is nothing to be learnt over here. You need not to learn anything. You have to just understand that OR means plus in mathematics and means multiply in mathematics. So this problem might be clear to you. This will be very much important. This is called as fundamental principle of counting. Fundamental principle of counting. Making use of this principle, you can count number of ways to perform any task mathematically. Principle of counting. Fundamental principle of counting. Now proceeding further, hope your doubts might be clear to you. This was from town 1 to town 2, T1 to T2, and this is from T2 to T3, T2 to T3, and then journey is completed by us. Proceeding further, let's see what is the next question. Making use of this thing, we can count the number of ways to represent a set with 3 elements. So if you were not knowing fundamental principle of counting, you would have counted it implicitly by annotating, like writing each and everything. A set with 3 elements will look like this. Now very important thing, the set with 3 elements will have 3 elements but that are distinct. You should not repeat an element, never repeat an element. Now if you are not knowing anything, you would have written it like this: 1, 3, 2, then 2, 1, 3, then 2, 3, 1, then 3, 1, 2, then 3, 2, 1. That means 6 ways will be there, sir. Yeah, you are right. Not at all an issue. You are exactly right. But this way you should not do, because when the problem level will increase, you would find it difficult to count it like this. You would find it difficult to count it like this. So how many ways we got? 1 way, 2 way, 3 way, 4 way, 5 way and 6 way. Now let us suppose, what is the set with 3 elements look like? The set with 3 elements will look like 1, 2, 3 as I told you. Let us suppose this is our set A. It will look like this: 1, 2, 3. Now the first place can be filled by us in how many possible number of ways? How many places are to be filled by us? 3 places are to be filled by us. Guys, the first place can be filled by you in 3 possible ways, either by 1 or by 2 or by 3. So you would have to write like either by 1 or by 2 or by 3. Or means plus, and the second place can be filled by us in how many possible number of ways? As soon as anything out of these 3 things has been kept by us at the first place, it will not be taken by us to keep at the second place. So we'll be going to keep anything apart from these 3 things. That means 2 possibilities are there for the second position. 2 possibilities. One possibility will be ruled out because set has distinct elements. Set has distinct elements. So no repetition at the second place. Whatever has been kept by you over here should not be repeated at the second position. So you would have to write like either by any of the 2 values, and as soon as anything is kept by you at the second position, the third position can be filled by you in only 1 and 1 way. Only 1 way it can be filled by you and will be written like this. That means 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, 6 ways are there to represent a set with 3 elements. The same thing can be seen by you like this. So this is quite lengthier. That is very easy. This is called as permutations or arrangements of n objects at n positions and distinct objects at n distinct positions. We will be going to learn it in PNC, permutation and combination. But since we are dealing with set, so we are, for sake of completeness only, we are seeing it over here. As such, we will be going to learn the whole concept in permutation and combination completely. This fundamental principle of counting is also the part of permutation and combination, and the and or is the part of mathematical reasoning, mathematical logic. We have a separate chapter in JEE Main for that. Set is also there. After set, we'll be going to learn the whole mathematics gets unfolded in the same way. After learning sets, then Cartesian products of set, then relations, Then after relations we get into functions. Then functions is taught to you in the 12th standard. In the great depth it will be taught to you. So actually this is the fundamental building block of mathematics. Fundamental building block of mathematics, because everything whatever we deal with is in the form of set. The collection of numbers, the collection of objects, the collection of whatever we are doing is in the form of set. Now let's move on. See what is the next. Number of ways to represent a set with 4 elements. Now quite easy. The same type of question, similar sort of question. Let us suppose this is the set with 4 elements we had. We have to represent it. The number of ways to represent it they are asking. So there would be 4 places to be filled by us. There would be 4 places to be filled by us. The first place can be filled by us in how many possible number of ways? This is the first place to be filled by you. This is the second place. This is the third place. This is the fourth place. So the guys, first place can be filled by you in 4 possible number of ways, either by 1 or by 2 or by 3 or by 4. So you would have to write like either by 1 or by 2 or by 3 or by 4. And as soon as anything is kept by you at the first place out of these 4 things, the second place can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways. That is, this is 3. And as soon as anything is kept by us at the second position, the third place can be filled by us in 2 possible number of ways. And as soon as anything is kept by us at the third position, the last place can be filled by us in 1 possible number of way only. One way only it can be filled by us. That means 4 cross 3 cross 2 cross 1 are the number of ways to represent a set with. Means number of arrangement of elements of a set with 4 elements will be 24. Hope you guys would have got my point. Now what is the basic difference between set and collection? What is the basic difference between set and collection? So as I told you already, the set has no repetition. That means it has distinct elements, but collection can have a repetition. And set have unordered element. Collection can also have unordered element. Elements can be kept unorderly. But in the case of set, we were counting it for once. Sometimes in case of collection, you may count it for multiple number of times. No issues. Okay. So we'll be going to see the number of collection. What is the basic difference between set and collection? If set is written over here and collection is written over here, the set has no repetition. And collection has repetition. No repetition means distinct elements. And repetition means non-distinct elements. Elements may not be distinct in case of collection. So now they are asking number of collections which can be generated from a set with 3 elements. Number of collections which can be generated from a set with 3 elements. So how a set with 3 elements will look like? The set with 3 elements will look like this. Number of collections of 2 elements. They want how many elements in the collection? 2 elements only. So how many blank spaces needs to be filled by us? 2 blank spaces needs to be filled by us. The first blank space can be filled by us in how many possible number of ways? Guys, it can be filled by you either by 1 or by 2 or by 3. Any ways it can be filled by you either by 1 or by 2 or by 3. And the second blank space can be filled by us either by 1 or by 2 or by 3. The second blank space can be filled by us either by 1 or by 2 or by 3. Hope you guys would have got my point. So seeing this thing, we'll be easily able to count the number of ways to number of collections which can be generated from set with 3 elements. Number of collections of 2 elements. This is the first element of your collection and this is the second element of your collection. How many collections which can be generated from a set with 3 elements? Given a set with 3 elements, how many collections can be generated out of it? So collection may have 1 1, when it will be going to get multiplied like this, then 1 2, then 1 3, then 2 1, then 2 2, then 2 3, then 3 1, then 3 2, then 3 3. So you might be wondering what? So 9 collections will be there. Yeah, 9 collections will be there, and their order also, the different orders we are counting it as different collection. Just keep it in your mind. Maybe possible in real life it might not be true, but just for your sake of understanding, we are counting it as different collections. Means we are counting them as unordered. Okay, we are counting them as ordered this time instead of unordered. Unordered means order doesn't matter, but this time order is mattering to us. It matters to us. So what will be going to write over here? Corresponding to this, one choice we have, and again one choice, and again one choice, multiplied by one choice, one choice, one choice. That means 3 cross 3, that is 9 ways are there. 9 collections can be generated from a set with the number of collections which can be generated from set with 3 number of collections of 2 elements which can be generated from set with 3 elements will become what? 9. So let's move on to the next example. Number of collections of 3 elements which can be generated from set with 5 elements. Collections of 3 elements we have to generate, and set is what? Of 5 elements is given to you. This is the set with 5 elements we have, and you have to generate a collection of 3 elements. This is our collection of 3 elements. The first place can be filled by us in how many possible number of ways? It can be filled by us in 5 possible number of ways. The choices for second place won't be decreasing because it is not a set. So repetition is allowed. In case of set, repetition was not allowed. So you would have to write like what? Either by 1 or by 2 or by 3 or by 4 or by 5. And the second place can be filled by us either by 1 or by 2 or by 3 or by 4 or by 5. And the third place we'll be going to talk about can be filled by us either by 1 or by 2 or by 3 or by 4 or by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means what? 5 to the power 3. That is 125 collections will be there. And which type of collections? Ordered or unordered? They are ordered collections. That means order does matter over here. Instead, order wasn't mattering. It doesn't matter. It was an unordered collection. So we are just counting the number of arrangements which we can do out of 5 elements. Especially out of 5 elements, how many arrangements we can do when repetition is also allowed. That time repetition was not allowed. Repetition was not allowed, and order doesn't matter. This time order does matter, and repetition is allowed. Hope you guys would have got my point. Now proceeding further. Number of collections which can be generated from a set with 3 elements. Number of collections which can be generated from set with 3 elements. So now it is not written that how many elements collection you have to generate. So collection can have 1 element, or a collection can be of 2 element, or collection can be of 3 element, or collection can be of 4 element, or collection can be of 5 element, or it can be of 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10, so on up to infinitely many elements. So if we are talking about 1 elemental collection, or collection can be of 2 elements, or collection can be of 3 elements, or collection can be of 4 elements, or collection can be of 5 elements, or collection can be of infinitely many elements. This is the thing they are talking about. So the first place can be filled by us in how many possible number of ways? In 3 ways it can be filled by us. The first place of the collection with 2 elements can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways, and the second place of the collection with 2 elements can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways. Or collection with 3 elements, when it is there, the first place of it can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways, and the second place can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways, and the third place can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways. Or collection is of 4 elements, then the first place can be filled by us in 3 number possible of ways, and second place can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways, and third place can be filled by us in 3 number of possible ways, and fourth place can be filled by us in 3 possible number of ways. Similarly, 3 cross 3 cross 3 cross 3 cross 3 goes on up to infinity we have. So guys, the numbers are increasing exponentially. First time we had 3 power 1. We had what? 3 power 1. Then we had 3 power 2. Then we had 3 power 3. Then we had 3 power 4. Goes on up to infinity. So that means what? Exponentially, if it is increasing, 3 power infinity will be becoming infinity. Infinity added to any finite number will be becoming infinite only. That means we will have how many collections? If the number of elements in a collection is not given to you and number of elements of a set only is given to you, number of collections which can be generated from a set with 3 elements. So you will have infinitely many collections because you are not knowing how many elements collection you are going to get generate over there. How many elements collection will be going to get generated over there, will be going to form over there. So you'll be going to write the final answer for this question as infinite. Infinite means what? 3 power 1 plus 3 power 2 plus 3 power 3 goes on up to 3 power infinity, and 3 power infinity will be becoming what? Infinity only. So when you'll be going to add up all the powers of 3 like this, goes on up to infinity, the final answer will be becoming infinite, and that will be the right answer. So guys, we'll be going to continue this topic. There are many exciting problems related to, means we will be not going to learn chapters independently. We'll be going to learn chapters intermingledly. Like at the same time, we'll be going to involve multiple concepts at a time because we are learning for JEE. So we'll be going to learn many concepts at a time. We'll be going to merge many concepts at a time. So keep watching my series and give your valuable feedback whether you understood everything properly or not. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much.